and welcome back to the Citizen channel. We have a History Boys feature today, and we're going to go back to April Fool's Day. It was a bank holiday Monday, very early bank holiday this year, 1st of April 2002. I'm going over to MOLINEUX, Wolves versus City, Nationwide Division 1, yeah. It was a great season to be a City fan. We were in Division 1, but it didn't matter. It was just the one season, wasn't it? Yeah, one season out of the Premier League. And of course, Kevin Keegan had arrived with his swashbuckling football to sort of take us back to the promised land. And by this game, we were on the verge of a return to the Premier League by the time we visited Wolves in 2002. So we're going to have a look at that today. What else was happening away from football in 2002? Just quickly before we go on to the match and what happened around it, etc. Yes, sadly, 30th of March, the death of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, of course, was announced at 5:49 p.m. She died aged 101. 101, that's not too bad, is it? That's what we used to say in the old days, a good innings, that's for sure. But may she rest in peace, yeah, very sad. Away from that, a bit more cheerful. In the singles charts, well, depends if you like Gareth Gates or not. In the singles charts, Unchained Melody by Gareth Gates was in his first of 4 weeks at number 1. And of course, his big rival at the time, a guy called Will Young. Yeah, they were on a talent competition together, weren't they? And obviously, the one who supposedly came second seemed to have more success than the one that won. But they were competing with each other, sort of. I think they were sort of buddies, sort of on screen, but I'm not too sure away from that, to be honest with you. But his rival, Will Young, would actually have the best-selling single of the year with a double A side with Anything Is Possible at Evergreen. Remember that? Sales that year of almost 1.8 million copies. Just for instance, Gareth Gates' Unchained Melody, which was at number 1 this week, had sold just over 1.3 million. So, yeah, Mr. Will Young was doing okay, wasn't he? In the album charts, if you like your albums, buy your LPs. If you're not old enough to know what an album is or an LP, go and find out. Of course, Silver Side Up by Nickelback was at number 1 in the album charts. At the cinema, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers was the highest grossing movie of 2002, beating Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets into second spot. So there, great year, 2002. So back to football, back to City, back to Wolves. And Wolves themselves, of course, were still gunning for promotion with an outside chance of nicking the title off us as well. Yeah, they came into this game 5 points behind us, so obviously they'd close the gap if they beat us. So that was City who topped the table. City were first, Wolves were second, 5 points behind. The game was on I think it was ITV Sport at the time, guys. I might be wrong. I know the last 3 games of the season certainly were, so it's possible this one was as well. The game was on TV, but of course, as you'd expect, the City fans totally sold out the allocation, almost 3,000 for Molyneux, and they probably could have sold that 2 or 3 times more than that, even more than that. So even though it was on TV, and the Wolves matchday programme included the average attendances, of course, for that season for Division 1. Where were we when we were? Well, we were okay this season, weren't we? We were well clear of the pack on that as well. Yeah, averaging 32,886 was our average attendance that season. Wolves were second, 23,447, so almost 10,000 less than ours. And the only other clubs in the Division 1 who got more than 20,000 average were Birmingham with 21,022, Nottingham Forest with 21,886, Sheffield Wednesday with 20,349, and West Brom with 20,432. Dave Jones, nothing to do with the Monkeys. Dave Jones was a Wolves manager. He was in his first year, and he'd been given a bit of a war chest before the season. He'd been given £11 million approximately to sort of try and fire Wolves back to the Premier League. And they did have a good record. They did have a good record at Molyneux at home against us. We'd played 49 against them, and at home they'd won 28, drawn 12, and only lost 9. So they did have a good record coming up to this, scoring 126 goals and letting in 69. Back at Main Road back in December, a 1-0 win for City with the Kevin Horlock goal being the difference between the teams. The matchday programme itself cost £2, and Wolves player Kevin Cooper was on the cover. And Wolves' biggest crowd of the season was in attendance for this one, 28,015. So the teams, yes. Well, the teams in net, Mr. Oakes, yes, obviously well connected to our City legend. Halley, Lescott, Butler, Kamara, Newton, Ray, Cameron, Cooper. He was replaced by Nadar on 31 minutes. Blake, he was replaced by Miller on 86. And Sturridge. So there you go. Notice Lescott. Lescott was in there. That was... early days. Unused subs, Andrews, Lowerson and Murray. Far as City, we had Mr. Nash in goal. Yes, he was wearing this. Would have been wearing this top here. Well, his equivalent of this top anyway. I played in this top around about the same time he was playing for City. Nash, Dunn, Howitt, Pearce, Son, Wright, Phillips, Horlock, Benarbia, Jensen, Macken and Huckabee. Our unused substitutes, we didn't have any substitutes that day. Matomo, Ritchie, Vikings, Gota, and Royce. They are Royce. When you put these names down, I can't remember much about Royce. I'll have to find out a little bit about Mr. Royce because I have no idea who Royce was. Royce. You might have an idea, guys. I don't. The match itself, we're going to go over to the match itself and go over to The Guardian. Yes, we're going to go posh today. And John Brodkin, the journalist for The Guardian, for his match report on this one. And it finished at Wolves 0, Manchester City 2. So obviously it didn't help them get to close the gap. We just increased it. And the headline, Slicker City poised for big leap up. And Keegan's men almost there, but West Brom's win gives Wolves a hunted look. Yeah, so a little bit more on that later for Wolves. So on to his match report. If City felt mildly disappointed last night that its impressive win failed to earn their promotion, it did, we still needed a point, I think. There was nothing but misery for Wolves, comfortably beaten at home by a team they had hoped to challenge for the title. Dave Jones's side later suffered a further blow. West Bromwich's victory at Coventry moved them level on points with Wolves in the battle for second place. City have confirmed they are a division's best side thanks to 2 Sean Wright-Phillips goals. A point at home against Barnsley on Saturday will bring Kevin Keegan's team their instant Premiership return. The wait is almost over. Only there for a year. I mean, it's not that long. Not long for us, was it? City made this meeting the top 2 an uneven contest, looking much slicker, more solid, more creative. Wolves barely mustered a chance, and only their goalkeeper, Michael Oakes, and some poor late finishing saved them from a heavier defeat. They ended with 10 men. Yes, Paul Butler being sent off near the end for 2 bookings. Interesting information on him. After 36 minutes, a City supporting defender had deflected in the first goal, and it was apt that his second caution followed a foul and set to involving Darren Huckabee. The striker's pace constantly troubled Wolves, although his finishing failed to match that of Wright Phillips. Ali Benarbia also impressed, and City's defence stood firm when Wolves pressed for an equaliser after the interval. Keegan refused to discuss promotion, saying he was superstitious, but it's now a formality. One more point will not end the possibility of West Brom or Wolves finishing level with City, but goal difference is such that even Keegan accepts a draw will suffice. The manager believes his team are better than the Newcastle side he took to the top flight, and one remark was telling you, we have a chance of being with the big boys one day, he said. Just being in the Premiership is not enough. Wolves will settle merely for being there, but were highly disappointed in their form. 1 win in 6 suggests they will be overtaken. Their attacking lacked an element of surprise, and their distribution was too wayward. A second half improvement had no impact in front of goal. Carlo Nash did not have a shot to save, although Johnny Lescott might have done better with the free header. Well, he probably knew. He knew where he was going, so he was our little agent, wasn't he? The wide players were largely contained, and up front, Nathan Blake and Dean Sturridge had minimal impact. Unlike Huckabee, they offer little outside of the area. If Wolves are promoted, they will need a huge injection of money, again, from their chairman, Sir Jack Hayward. City too will have to spend, not least on a central defender, yet they have the basis of a good side. It was a real good team effort, Keegan said. We played some good football and pleased that when it got physical, we were able to stand up for ourselves. Wright Phillips combined ceaseless energy with an ability to get forward, a quality lacking from the Wolves' central midfield. Before half-time, the home team failed to cope with the positions into which Benarbia drifted between their defence and midfield. He set up Huckabee for the first of 2 one-on-ones that the striker wasted, though Huckabee made amends by setting up Wright Phillips for a shot that was diverted past Oakes. His second arrived after 80 minutes when Alex Ray was robbed and Wright Phillips finished with a fine low shot. That's a good 2-0 win. Of course, we would have, we did better than a point, didn't we, against Barnsley the following week? We thrashed Barnsley 5-1, and we completed the season with another 2 3-1 victories to claim the title with, 99 points. How disappointing is that? It'd be wonderful to get 100 points one day, wouldn't it? Oh, hang on, yeah. Okay, 99 points that season. So, I played a few more games, though. 10 points clear of West Brom, who nicked second spot from Wolves. Oh, poor Wolves. Well, they were really on a really bad run at the time. We scored 108 goals and conceded 52 that season. And all was pretty much okay in the City world, and certainly as fans it was. We were pretty happy at the time, I think. But then anyway. As for Wolves, well, the season did prove a notable disappointment. They sat in automatic promotion spots for the majority of the campaign, but that late slump in form saw Midlands rivals, of course, West Brom, pit them to second place and automatic promotion by 3 points in the end. And defeat to Norwich City in the semi-finals of the playoffs ended their hopes of returning to the top flight for the first time since 1984. But they only had to wait another season before the return to the top flight. Though they finished 5th the following year, they won promotion through the playoffs, beating Sheffield United 3-0 at Wembley. So all's well that ends well, certainly for Wolves and definitely for City anyway. So thanks for joining me for this, guys. Any memories? Were you there that day? Any memories? I know I couldn't get there that day. I was in a pub in Rusholme. I can't remember the name of the pub now. It used to be the old St Mary's there. It used to be down the side. I don't think it's there anymore. I was watching it with my lad there in a pub in Rusholme. We sort of wandering around trying to find somewhere to watch it. I'm not sure why we were around there, in all fairness. But that was where I watched it, with a few other City fans. Good day, good match. Were you there? Let me know your memories. It'd be great to hear from you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this History Boys feature. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Manchester City 2 on the 1st of April 2002 in the Nationwide Division 1. So we meet again. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.